We've known for a while that a brand new Horizon multiplayer game was in the works at Guerrilla Games, ever since they posted a notice for job openings on their Twitter account. Just a couple days ago, brand new in-development footage was leaked on Reddit, showcasing what the game might look like. In this video, I will be going over the things that were revealed through the gameplay that was shown, and what we can expect from the multiplayer game once it is revealed. Before I get into it, I just want to let you guys know that I won't be posting the entire leaked gameplay in this video, just to make sure that this video won't be taken down by Sony. I will, however, include a couple screenshots from the footage just to give you guys an idea of what the game might look like. It's important to remember that these images come from in-development footage back from 2020, so it's not at all indicative of the final game. Let's get started with one of the major things that a lot of people noticed from this leak, and that is the cartoony art style of the characters. When we first started to get rumors about this multiplayer project, a lot of people, including me, expected it to follow the same realistic and colorful art style of the original single-player games. With this being one of the biggest strengths of the Horizon franchise, this seemed like a reasonable thing to assume. However, I feel like most of us missed the fact that Guerrilla Games actually let us know that this would not be the case with their job posting on Twitter, where here it clearly states that the multiplayer game will be stylized. Now that we have seen what this style is, I found that the reaction to it seems to mostly be negative, at least on Twitter and Reddit from what I have seen. There's a lot of people saying that the art style looks too much like Fortnite and that Sony is trying to cater to the Fortnite audience. There's people saying that this game looks like Sea of Thieves, especially with this woman here who looks to be a pirate of some sort. Just a side note, but based off the footage alone, it looks like they are using environmental assets from the single-player Horizon games with the brand new characters of the new multiplayer project, which is why the art styles look a bit jarring. This is obviously not what they will do with the end product, but it is common for developers to do things like this for testing and development purposes. Of course, when the game is eventually released, the environment will follow the cartoony art style of the characters. Now, I personally don't really care for the art style all that much. I can appreciate both realistic and cartoony art styles if done well. What they really need to nail in this game is the movement and the gameplay loop. I believe that art style and graphics are very important with single-player games, but they don't matter nearly as much in live service multiplayer games. You don't get people to log into your game every day with the visuals. You do it with an addictive gameplay loop. I also find it funny that people are saying that this game looks like Fortnite in a negative sense, as if Fortnite doesn't look absolutely amazing as of late. Sea of Thieves is also another game that it's getting compared to, and that game looks great as well. I do understand why people are a bit frustrated though, especially with Horizon Forbidden West having, in my opinion, the best graphics so far this generation. I've seen people make the argument that this game is stylized because it would be difficult to implement realistic graphics at the level of Horizon Forbidden West with the multiplayer game. However, there are games like Call of Duty Warzone, which is one of the biggest multiplayer games out right now, that follows a realistic art style. I assume that The Last of Us Factions, which is another PlayStation game, will also follow the realistic art style of the original single-player games, so this argument doesn't really hold up all that well. Now the question is, why on earth would Guerrilla choose to do a cartoony art style when the realistic nature of the original games are loved by fans? And the answer to that, I believe, is simply money. This is going to be a live service game and will need to be supported by microtransactions for it to thrive. It's simply easier to add cosmetics and skins to cartoon characters compared to characters that are more realistic. Look at a game like Fortnite that rakes in billions purely off battle passes and cosmetics. I'm not saying that this game will be nearly as successful as Fortnite, but this does seem to be what they are trying to replicate. I know what I said might seem cynical, but hey, if the game looks great and all the microtransactions are only for cosmetics, meaning no pay-to-win aspects, then I'm completely fine with it. One other thing I noticed from this leak is that the game seems to follow a hero-based system. Now this is obviously not definite, but I do get this impression from the piece of concept art that was leaked alongside the gameplay. Here you can see that this character with the fluffy hair is also present in the gameplay leak. It would be unusual to have an exact replica of the character you have in your concept art if the game had a character customization system, where you would create your own character. The bottom left of the screen also has special abilities that, based on what is in this video, is different for each character. Unfortunately for us, the leak only showed a couple characters running around the game world, so we don't really know what the combat and abilities will look like. This ability system, however, is pretty significant, as like I said before, most people believe that this game would have character customization, similar to that of the Monster Hunter series, which seems to be the biggest inspiration for this project. Now, it could be possible that these abilities could be part of a specific class, and that the character in the concept art and leak is actually an NPC that the devs use for testing purposes as a playable character, meaning that you are still able to customize the character you play with in the game. Either way, we will have to wait for the game to be announced to get a final answer. This pretty much sums it up for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to like and subscribe. Have a good one.